السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم في قناة Arab English Learning. كتاب Connect Plus Primary 4 Students Book Term 2. This is Unit 7 Part 1.
Unit 7 Students Book Lesson 1 Page 4 Exercise 1 Listen and read. Write the environments.
There are lots of trees, plants, and flowers here. Lots of animals live in these places. For example, there are insects, birds, reptiles, and mammals. It often rains and the temperature is hot. This environment is where the land is next to the sea. In some places, there are beaches with sand. And sometimes there are swamps and forests. The Nile Delta is an example, and so is the Red Sea. It is very dry in this environment. The animals and plants that live here have to find clever ways to survive without a lot of water. You can find these environments on every continent, and they can be hot or cold. There aren't many houses or buildings here, so this place often has more animals and plants. Not many people live here, so it is sparsely populated. It can have lots of different kinds of weather, but it's a quiet place to live. There are two of these environments in the world, the Arctic and the Antarctic. It is cold and windy here, with a lot of ice. Some animals have found ways to live here, but there aren't any trees or flowers. This is a metropolitan area, which is densely populated. Most people in the world live in this kind of environment. There are lots of buildings, and there can be a lot of traffic too. It can be difficult for people to live and travel in this high environment. They are very beautiful places, but they can be cold with lots of rain or snow, and the weather can change quickly. The animals and plants that live here have to find special ways to survive.
So the first environment is rainforest, 2 coastal, 3 desert, 4 rural, 5 polar, 6 urban, 7 mountainous. Page 5. Exercise 2. Look and circle the environment. The first one is polar environment. Second one is rainforest. Third one is mountainous. The fourth one is urban. Number 5 is the desert. And 6 is coastal environment. Exercise 3. Read and write T for true or F for false. 1. There is always a beach in a coastal environment. This is true. 2. There are polar environments on every continent. This is false. Here it's not the polar, it's a desert environment. Polar, we have only 2 polar environments. 3. Mountain environments are sparsely populated. This is true, means less population. 4. An urban environment is a quiet place to live. Urban is the city, which is not quiet, it's noisy. 6. So it's false. 5. You can see lots of different animals in a rainforest. This is true. Exercise 4. Ask and answer with a partner. 1. What kind of environment do you live in? I live in an urban environment, means city. 2. What are the good and bad things about it? The good things is that you can have everything you need in the city, but the bad thing is that it is noisy and crowded. 3. What kind of plants and animals are there in your environment? You can see some rabbits, chicken, and ducks in the marketplace, or go watch wild animals in the zoo. Did you know it is harder to get enough oxygen when you breathe at the top of a high mountain? If you aren't used to being in the mountains, it can make you sick.
Lesson 2, page 6, exercise 1. Listen to the podcast. What are they discussing?
Hello, and welcome to our Clean World podcast. We live in an amazing world, but the things that people do can damage the environment. Today, we're talking about pollution. What is it, and what are we doing to stop it? There are two main types of pollution: air pollution and water pollution. Air pollution is caused by the things that people do, such as driving cars and trucks or making things in factories. When we burn fuels, it makes carbon dioxide emissions. Over a long time, this can lead to climate change because there's too much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Things in the natural world, such as forest fires or volcanic eruptions, can also cause air pollution. Chemicals from factories or farms go into rivers or the sea to cause water pollution. There is also a problem with plastic pollution. There's a lot of plastic garbage in rivers and oceans, and this is very bad for the animals that live there. Today, we know more about pollution than we used to, and we know how important it is to reduce it. Scientists are finding new ways to travel and to use fuels. We can also change the things we do. For example, we can walk, cycle, or use public transportation instead of using cars. We also need to think about how we can use less plastic. Lots of people are trying to make our world a cleaner place.
So, what are they discussing? They are discussing pollution types and how we can stop it. Exercise 2. Look and label the photos. Air pollution, fuel, water pollution. The first one is fuel, air pollution, water pollution. Now you have to listen again and match the words with the definitions, the words in the box. 1. When the weather and temperature change over a long period of time, this is climate change. 2. A gas in the atmosphere known as CO2, it can be dangerous when there is too much in the air. This is carbon dioxide. 3. When the air is dirty, this can make people or animals sick. We call this air pollution. 4. When water is dirty because of chemicals or plastic, we call this water pollution. 5. This is sometimes we burn to make heat or power. This is fuel. 6. These are made, for example, by factories, cars, and lorries. They can cause air pollutions. We call this emissions. Did you know a plastic bottle can be in the sea for over 400 years before it disappears, it's important to recycle plastic, not throw it away. Page 7, exercise 4, read these present continuous sentences from the podcast. Are they about things that are happening now, or things in the past, or things in the future? Let's read the sentences. Today, we are talking about pollution. What are we doing to stop it? Scientists are finding new ways to travel and use fuels. Lots of people are trying to make our world a cleaner place. So look at the verbs. We are talking, are we doing, are finding, are trying. We call these things are happening now, and we call it present continuous, which is talking about things happen temporary at the present time. I will put for you also here a lesson for explaining present continuous. Exercise 5. Write sentences in the present continuous. Let's put these sentences in the correct form of present continuous. 1. I'm walking to school now. 2. He's waiting for the bus at the moment. 3. I'm using recycled plastic now. 4. We are learning about climate change this week. 5. Look, they are driving an electric car. 6. Look, Hannah is watching a TV program. 7. I am reading an article about the environment now. 8. Listen, Tarek is listening to a podcast. So we put verb to be, am or is or are according to the person, and don't forget to add ing to make the form of the present continuous. Now exercise 6, complete the sentences with the present continuous form of the verbs in brackets. These people help, so it's gonna be are helping to stop pollution. They are on a beach and they are picking up garbage. The garbage can be dirty, so they are wearing gloves. They are putting the plastic in bags so it doesn't go into the sea. Page 8, lesson 3, energy around us. Exercise 1, read the text. Why is a coastal environment a good place for a wind farm? We have to read first to answer this question. Fossil fuels are things like coal, gas, and oil. These are burned in factories or used to make homes and buildings warm. However, they are non-renewable. When they run out, we can't find or make more of them. Fossil fuels are made from remains of very old plants and animals that lived on Earth a long time ago. When we burn them, a lot of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. There are other kinds of energy we can use which are renewable. They don't run out. We can get renewable energy from natural resources such as the wind, the sun, water, and heat inside the earth. These kinds of energy don't make pollution, and on the long run, they are better. There are many types of environments on Earth, and we can use different natural resources in different places. For example, a hot desert is a good place to get solar energy from the sun. And there are large farms with lots of solar panels that can make clean electricity. A coastal environment can get a lot of wind, so some places have a lot of wind turbines in the sea close to the coast. In some places, the sea goes up and down throughout the day. This is called a tide. In places where the tides are very big and strong, we can use tidal energy from the moving water to make electricity. Wind and wave turbines work by movement. The wind and water make turbines move, and this moving energy generates electrical energy. You can store this energy so if the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing, we will still have electricity. In other places, it is very hot under the ground. These are good places for geothermal energy, as the ground can heat water. In the future, we need to get more of our energy from renewable sources and less from non-renewable sources. So let's go back to the question, why is a coastal environment a good place for a wind farm? A coastal environment can get a lot of wind, so some places have a lot of wind turbines in the sea that close to the coast. This is the answer of the question. Page 9, exercise 2, match the types of energy to the photos. 1 is tidal energy, 2 geothermal energy, 3 wind energy, 4 solar energy. Exercise 3, read the text again on page 8 and answer the questions. 1. What are fossil fuels made from? They are made from remains of plants and animals that lived on Earth long ago. 2. Why are fossil fuels non-renewable? Because they run out and you can't find or make more of them. 3. What are the good things about renewable energy sources? The good things are that they don't run out and don't make pollution. 4. Why is the desert a good place for solar energy? Because the desert is hot and sunny. 4. Exercise 4. Find these words in the text: generate, store, tide, turbine. And here is a tab about strange words. Sometimes when we read a text, we find words which we don't understand. Look at the rest of the words in the sentence carefully. Can they help you understand new words? Try to understand the words from the whole meaning. Exercise 5. Read and choose the best meaning. Wind and wave turbines work by movement. A turbine is a source of energy or machine to make energy? Correct. It's a machine to make energy. 2. This moving energy generates electrical energy. To generate is to make or use something. Yes, generate means to make something. 3. You can store this energy. So if the sun isn't shining or the wind isn't blowing, we will still have electricity. So to store is to make or to keep something. Yes, store means to keep. 4. In some places the sea goes up and down or right and left throughout the day. This is called a tide. Yes, up and down is a tide. 5. A tide is when the level of the sea gets higher and lower, or the sea gets hotter or colder. Yes, it's when the level of the sea gets higher or lower. So another tip here, look at how a new word is used in a sentence and decide if it is verb or a noun. This helps you guess the meaning of new words. Thank you for listening and watching this video. متنساش تتابع نفس اليونت على كتاب ال Students Book والأكتيفيتي بوك. ولأول مرة تشوفنا متنساش تعمل سبسكرايب ولايك وشير عشان غيرك يستفيد. Thank you again and see you very soon. Bye.